Hello and welcome. Today I'm going to give you some tips and advice on how to do well in the weave movement. This movement can be done as a third movement of your choice in the figure marching competition. Having a look at this diagram, so initially boys will be in one line in the middle and they will turn right, and this is what we call the upper level of the court. They will march somewhere in the middle of the upper level of the court, as you can see here in this diagram. And the first boy is going to go take a sharp left turn, and the second boy will take a sharp right turn and a move into that position that you see there. So essentially you want to have your odd numbers 1, 3, 5 and 7 move to those positions on the left hand side, and if you're number 2, 4, 6, 8, you're going to be on the right hand side and move to that position. Once you move to your position, you'll be essentially marching on the spot. So that means you're still swinging arms, you're still lifting your knees, and in terms of the direction that you want to face the right hand side, which I'll mark here on the diagram so that you don't get confused which direction you should be facing. Once you are marching on the spot, the leading number 1 boy, who's the boy all the way at the back, the leading boy, will march forward and he'll sort of come under and over. He'll come around the second boy, go in front of the second boy, and the second boy will follow the leading boy. And the leading boy will just continue to follow in a weave-like formation, and they all form back to one line, as you can see here. So the leading boy will now do the same thing for the lower level of the court. So the leading boy will lead a squad and proceed to go to the middle section, like so. He'll take a sharp left turn and turn to the left, while the second boy will take a sharp right turn and proceed to their position. So essentially, if you're on odd numbers 1, 3, 5 and 7, you will go on the left hand side. If you're an even number 2, 4, 6, 8, your position will be on the right hand side. In terms of the direction that you need to face, you make a mark here so you know which direction you should be facing. So once everyone's in order, the leading boy, he will start to commence the march. So here again, he'll go under and over, so under the second boy, and then go in front of him, and then the second boy will follow him. He'll go under and over the next boy, and therefore you'll start to see this weave-like formation where the remaining boys in the line will follow the leading boy as he goes in front of them. So eventually you will end back up in a single file, and you just have to find where the exit is for the court, so you can march your squad out. A few things to keep in mind. Do make sure that while you are marching on the spot in your position, use your eyes to check that you are marching on the correct spot, just to avoid going too far forward or too far back, so you're marching in that exact same position. So let's have a look at the weave now. As you can see, the boys, or the leading boy, he's just taking smaller paces, and the reason you want to do that is so that you're indicating to the boys behind you that you're about to commence the third movement, which is the weave. So that's the importance of taking smaller paces when you're about to do the weave. Okay, so leading boy has taken notice that everyone's in a position, so he's going to march under and then over the second boy, and he's going to do the same with the third boy. He's going to go in front of him, and the third boy is just going to tail behind the second boy. Now the leading boy is going to go in front of the fourth boy, and the fourth boy is just going to tail behind the third boy. And so on and so forth, as you can see what's happening here. Again, the boys are marching really well because they're marching in the exact same position without going too far forward, too far back. So that's really good to see. And of course, they are lifting their arms, swinging their arms, and also lifting their knees, and also keeping the heads held high and not looking around. So that's really important to do that in the movements here. So it looks like the leading boy has collected all their members, which is good. So he's completed the upper level of the court. Now he's going to do the same thing for the lower level of the court. So we're about to see that happening shortly. Okay, as he marches, again, he's going to come somewhere in the middle here. And then make his, of course, sharp left turn to move to his position. Yeah, second boy makes a sharp right turn to his position. Okay, so once the boys have moved all to position, so all your odd numbers on the left, even numbers on the right, the leading boy will take note, once everyone's moved into position to commence marching. Okay, again, really same thing to avoid going too far forward, too far back while you're marching in that exact same position. Very important to use your eyes just to check where you're marching so you can just adjust your pace of your march just to make sure you're in that exact same position. So again, boys are doing really well to, of course, march on the spot, swing the arms, of course, lifting with the knees, very important, and of course, have their heads held high. Okay, so once they're in this position, all they have to do is find a way to exit the figure marching court, and that's really it for the weave movement. In summary, in order to do well in the weave movement, the leading boy needs to slow down the pace of march initially before they split, so that it gives the boys notice in advance that you're about to do the weave movement. Once you split, of course, making the sharp turns is essential for the weave movement. So if you're in odd numbers, move to those positions on the left-hand side, and even numbers, you're going to be on the right-hand side and move to that position. Making sure you're facing in the same direction is also equally important. Also, while you are marching at a spot, you also want to, without moving your head, use your eyes to check where you are marching so that you're marching on the correct spot. That is really important. The leading boy will march once all squad members are in their correct position. Also very important that once the leading boy passes in front of you, you have to follow the squad or just essentially follow behind the leading boy in order to create that weave-like formation. And that's an overall summary on how to do well in the weave movement.